Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that can change the way you see yourself and your relationships. You've got to stop giving people the power to make you feel small. You've got to stop letting anyone think they can walk all over you, disrespect you, or treat you like you don't matter. Now, I know you've been through a lot. I know you've been hurt. I know you've invested your time, your heart, your energy into people who didn't value you, didn't appreciate you. But let me tell you, it's time for a change. It's time to get your power back. Self-worth is something that every person, especially women, needs to truly understand and embody in their lives. Too often we place our value in the hands of others, whether it's a partner, a friend, a family member, or society. We look for validation outside ourselves to feel seen, valued, and worthy. But the truth is, no one else can give you the worth that you already have within you. That's something that only you can give yourself. When you continuously seek validation from others, you are essentially handing over the power to define your value. You're allowing external forces to dictate how you see yourself. And that is a dangerous place to be, because people will treat you according to how you treat yourself. If you don't see yourself as worthy, neither will they. They will walk all over you, take advantage of your kindness, and leave you empty and exhausted. The way you see yourself is the first step in how the world will treat you. So what does it mean to truly understand your self-worth? It means that you know you don't need to seek approval from anyone to feel good about who you are. It means that you're not defined by someone else's opinion of you, whether they're praising you or criticizing you. It means understanding that your value is not based on your appearance, your achievements, or how well you perform in relationships or job. Your worth is inherent, something that you carry with you every single day, whether others recognize it or not. When you understand your self-worth, you stop allowing people to treat you in ways that don't align with who you are. You stop tolerating disrespect, manipulation, or neglect. You refuse to settle for less than what you deserve because you know deep down that you are worthy of the best. When you know your worth, you make choices that honor your value, whether it's in relationships, friendships, or even your career. It's important to remember that your self-worth is not dependent on what others think of you. You don't need anyone else to tell you that you are good enough because you already know it. When you rely on other people to define your worth, you place yourself in a vulnerable position where your sense of self is constantly fluctuating based on the opinions of others. This can leave you feeling insecure, anxious, and unfulfilled. On the other hand, when you learn to define your own value, you become unshakable. You no longer look to others to feel good about yourself. You don't need external validation to feel confident, loved, or successful. You know that you are enough as you are, and you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You live your life for yourself, not to meet the expectations of others. Understanding your self-worth is not about being arrogant or dismissive of others. It's about recognizing your own value without depending on anyone else to affirm it. It's about knowing that you are worthy of love, respect, happiness, and success just by being yourself. When you truly understand this, you can navigate the world with a sense of strength and clarity. You don't waste time on relationships that don't add value to your life or situations that don't align with your goals. You also become more resilient. When challenges arise, you're less likely to be knocked down because you know your worth. You understand that setbacks do not define you. You are not the sum of your failures or mistakes. Your value remains constant regardless of what happens in your life. This gives you the strength to keep going, to keep moving forward, and to keep growing, no matter what obstacles you face. And when you truly grasp your self-worth, you begin to attract the right kind of people into your life. People who see your value, respect you, and want to be a part of your journey. The right people will show up when you stop settling for less and stop compromising your worth for the sake of others. They will appreciate you for who you are, not because you're trying to impress them or win their approval. These are the people who will lift you up, encourage you, and walk beside you as you reach for your dream. So take the time to understand your worth. Do the inner work to recognize that you are valuable, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Stop seeking validation from others and instead find it within yourself. Once you do that, everything will change. You'll stop tolerating relationships or situations that don't serve you. You'll stop chasing after people who don't appreciate you, and you'll begin to attract the love, respect, and success that you deserve. You are worth it. Don't ever forget that. When you stop chasing, you begin to understand the true power of walking away from situations, people, and relationships that no longer serve you. For far too long, many people, especially women, believe that if they chase someone or beg for their attention, they'll somehow prove their worth or earn love and respect. But let me tell you, that is not how life works. Chasing someone or something only puts you in a vulnerable position where you are giving up your power, your dignity, and your peace of mind. When you chase someone, whether it's a partner, a friend, or anyone else, what you are really saying is that they hold the power to validate your existence, your value, and your happiness. You are telling them that without their presence, without their acknowledgement, your life lacks meaning. But this is far from the truth. When you stop chasing, you stop giving your power away to people who don't deserve it. You start to realize that your happiness, your peace, and your value are not tied to anyone but yourself. Chasing someone, especially someone who doesn't appreciate you or respect you, is a waste of time and energy. You could be using that time to build yourself up, pursue your passions, focus on your goals, and improve your life in countless ways. But instead, you're stuck in a cycle of trying to win someone's affection, approval, or love, when in fact, they should be trying to win you over. You are the prize. You don't need to beg, plead, or chase anyone to see your value. The moment you stop chasing, you begin to reclaim your sense of self. You start to value yourself enough to know that if someone wants to be a part of your life, they will make an effort. You won't have to beg them or chase them down. People who truly care about you will be the ones who show up consistently, respect you, and treat you with the dignity you deserve. They won't make you feel like you have to earn their love or attention because they'll already recognize your worth. They will know that you are deserving of their time, effort, and care. But that can only happen when you stop chasing and start focusing on yourself. When you stop chasing, you stop settling. You stop tolerating disrespect, mistreatment, and neglect. Too often, people stay in situations that drain them emotionally, physically, or mentally because they believe that if they chase hard enough, if they give enough of themselves, the person they care about will eventually change or come around. But that's not how it works. People don't change because you chase them. People change because they want to change for themselves. So when you stop chasing, you stop waiting for someone to change. You stop putting your life on hold, hoping that the person you're chasing will eventually recognize your worth and meet you where you are. Instead, you focus on what you can control, yourself. You focus on your goals, your personal growth, and your happiness. You begin to attract people who are already aligned with the kind of person you are and who you want to become. You stop wasting time on people who don't appreciate you or bring value to your life. Another powerful realization that comes when you stop chasing is that people will start to chase you. When you let go of the desperation and the need for approval, you become magnetic. You become someone who commands respect, not because you're seeking it, but because you've learned to respect yourself first. This is where the power lies. The minute you stop chasing, you show the world that you value yourself enough to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't align with your stand. People can feel when you're chasing them. They can sense the desperation, the need for approval, and let's be honest, that's not attractive. No one wants to feel like they're being chased or pursued relentlessly. But when you stop chasing, you give the other person the space to come to you to realize what they've lost and to recognize that you are a person of value. When you let go of the chase, you put the power back into your own hands. You become the one who decides who gets to be in your life and who doesn't. It's crucial to recognize that when you stop chasing, you stop giving up your peace of mind. Chasing someone or something puts you in a constant state of anxiety, insecurity, and uncertainty. You are always wondering if you're doing enough, if you're good enough, or if you're going to get the attention or love you seek. This creates unnecessary stress, draining your energy and focus from more important things in your life. But when you stop chasing, you stop worrying. You give yourself permission to relax, to breathe, and to trust that whatever is meant for you will come to you naturally. Chasing creates a sense of lack, of scarcity, as though there's only so much love, attention, and success to go around. But when you stop chasing, you realize that the universe has an abundance of everything: love, opportunities, happiness, and you are worthy of all of it. You don't need to chase after something or someone to prove your worth. When you stop chasing, you make room for the right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy to flow into your life. By stopping the chase, you reclaim your life. You stop being a passive participant in your own journey, waiting for others to decide your fate. Instead, you become the active creator of your own story, focusing on what matters most: your own growth, happiness, and peace. The moment you begin to understand the importance of letting go, you'll see how transformative it can be. Too often, we hold on to relationships, situations, and people simply because we're afraid of the unknown, of being alone, or of the idea that letting go might somehow mean we're failing. But the truth is, holding on to something that isn't serving you, that isn't benefiting your growth, is the real failure. When you let go of what doesn't belong in your life, you open up space for the right things, the things that are meant for you. Letting go doesn't mean you're giving up on people or on love. It means you're choosing yourself over toxic situations. It means you're no longer willing to allow someone else's behavior, energy, or lack of commitment to control your life. Sometimes we hold on to things because we've invested time, energy, and emotions into them. We feel like we're obligated to keep going, to keep trying to fix what isn't broken. But the real strength comes in realizing that sometimes walking away is the most powerful thing you can do. When you let go, you stop allowing someone else's actions or decisions to define you. You stop waiting for them to change or meet you halfway. Instead, you take your power back by realizing that your happiness doesn't depend on someone else's actions. No matter how much you care for someone, no matter how deeply you've invested, you cannot force someone to value you the way you deserve. And continuing to hold on to something that isn't working only holds you back from moving forward and finding what is right for you. Letting go also means that you stop living in the past. Too many people stay stuck, replaying the same scenarios over and over in their minds, wishing things had turned out differently or hoping for a change that never comes. But the more you focus on the past, the more you allow it to dictate your present and future. When you let go, you free yourself from the chains of regret, guilt, or resentment. You stop letting the past define your value, your potential, or your ability to create a better future. Letting go is about accepting that the future is unknown, but that it is full of possibility. You can't predict the outcome, but you can shape your own path forward. And the first step is to release anything that's weighing you down, preventing you from moving ahead with clarity and purpose. Another critical aspect of letting go is the understanding that people come into our lives for different reasons, at different times, and for different purposes. Not everyone is meant to stay forever, and that's okay. There's no shame in realizing that a relationship, a friendship, or even a job has run its course. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away from something that no longer serves you, even if it hurts. Sometimes letting go is the healthiest thing you can do for your emotional well-being. By holding on to what no longer serves you, you create unnecessary emotional baggage that weighs you down. You carry with you the hurt, the disappointment, and the confusion of what could have been. Instead of moving forward into the life that awaits you, when you let go, you give yourself the opportunity to heal. You give yourself the chance to create new experiences, meet new people, and find joy again without being held back by the past. It's not about forgetting the past or pretending it didn't matter. It's about giving yourself permission to move on and embrace new opportunity. When you stop holding on to things that no longer align with your journey, you also begin to open yourself up to new possibilities. Letting go clears the space for new, better things to come into your life, whether it's new relationships, new opportunities, or even new perspectives. When you release what's no longer meant for you, you create space for the universe to bring in something better, something that will align with who you are becoming. You can't make room for new blessings when you're still holding on to old baggage. Another important part of letting go is understanding that it's okay to prioritize yourself. Too often, people stay in situations out of a sense of obligation or fear of disappointing others. But the reality is, your first responsibility is to yourself. It's not selfish to let go of something that isn't bringing you peace or growth. It's self-care. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care about the other person or situation. It means you care enough about yourself to know that you deserve better that you deserve peace, love, and respect. Sometimes letting go requires courage. It's not easy to walk away from something that you've invested so much into, especially if it's something that once brought you joy or fulfillment. But it takes even more courage to stay in something that isn't working, to keep pouring your energy into something that is draining you. True courage lies in walking away when you know it's no longer in your best interest, and trusting that doing so will eventually lead you to something greater. Letting go is about trusting the process of life. It's about knowing that when you release what's no longer meant for you, you make room for the next chapter of your life to unfold. You don't need to have everything figured out or know exactly what the future holds, but you do need to trust that letting go is an essential step in your journey towards the life you deserve. You have the power to move forward, to build a future filled with the love, joy, and success you've always dreamed of. The power of independence is something that cannot be underestimated. When you rely on others for validation or your sense of worth, you give away your power, and that's a dangerous place to be. You are the one who should be defining your life, your happiness, and your success, not anyone else. When you become independent, you stop looking to others to make you feel whole. You stop seeking approval or permission to be yours. Instead, you begin to rely on your own strength, your own decisions, and your own judgment. Independence means that you recognize your own worth without needing someone else to remind you of it. It means you understand that your happiness is not dependent on the actions or approval of others. When you are truly independent, you begin to take control of your life, setting your own goals, making decisions based on your values and desires, and living according to your own rules. You don't wait for someone else to tell you what to do or how to live. You follow your own path, and in doing so, you become the architect of your own destiny. Independence also frees you from the need to please everyone around you. Too often we find ourselves trying to meet the expectations of others, whether it's family, friends, or society. But when you're independent, you realize that trying to please everyone is not only impossible, but also exhausting. You understand that your worth does not depend on how others perceive you or whether they approve of your choices. This freedom allows you to live authentically without fear of judgment or criticism. You make decisions that align with your own desires and beliefs, and that is incredibly empowering. When you embrace independence, you stop waiting for someone else to come and rescue you or fix your problems. You understand that you have the tools and the strength within you to handle whatever comes your way. You rely on your own resources and creativity to find solutions to challenges rather than waiting for someone else to step in and save you. This self-reliance fosters confidence and resilience. You learn that you are more than capable of navigating life on your own, which boosts your self-esteem and sense of empowerment. Another essential element of independence is the ability to let go of toxic dependencies. Often we become dependent on people, habits, or situations that drain us rather than nourish us. These dependencies may have initially brought comfort or stability, but over time they become unhealthy. The ability to recognize and let go of these toxic dependencies is a crucial part of becoming truly independent. Whether it's a relationship, a job, or a particular behavior, letting go of what no longer serves you creates space for healthier, more positive influences in your life. By releasing these negative attachments. You empower yourself to make room for things that align with your goals and values. Independence also means understanding that you are responsible for your own happiness. You cannot rely on anyone else to make you happy, and you cannot expect anyone else to fill the voids in your life. True happiness comes from within, from your ability to cultivate joy, contentment, and peace on your own. When you become independent, you stop waiting for someone or something to change in order for you to feel fulfilled. You recognize that you hold the key to your own happiness, and you take proactive steps to nurture your emotional well-being. This shift in perspective gives you the freedom to pursue your dreams without being held back by the expectations or limitations of others. Independence also means taking full responsibility for your life. You no longer blame others for your circumstances, your failures, or your lack of success. Instead, you take ownership of your choices and actions. You understand that every decision you make shapes your life, and you learn to take accountability for the outcomes, both positive and negative. This sense of personal responsibility is liberating because it gives you control over your future. You realize that no one else is responsible for your happiness, success, or failure except you. As you embrace independence, you begin to build a strong sense of self. You develop the confidence to trust your own instincts and intuition, and you become more self-assured in your decision-making. You understand that you are capable of handling life's challenges, and this confidence radiates outward. You stop looking for validation or approval from others because you know that you are enough as you are. This self-assurance attracts the right people and opportunities into your life. Those who appreciate you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. Ultimately, the power of independence lies in its ability to set you free. It gives you the freedom to live your life on your own terms, to pursue your passions, and to build the life you truly want. Independence allows you to create a life that is authentic to you, one that is not dictated by the expectations of others or by external forces. You learn to trust yourself, your abilities, and your inner wisdom. And when you do, you will find that you have the strength, the courage, and the resilience to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. Living independently is not about isolating yourself from others or becoming self-centered. It is about recognizing your own worth, taking responsibility for your own happiness, and making choices that align with your values and desires. It's about giving yourself the freedom to be the person you were always meant to be and to create a life that brings you fulfillment, peace, and joy. When you realize the true power of self-love, your life transforms in profound ways. Self-love isn't about vanity or arrogance. It's about respecting and valuing yourself as you are. It's recognizing that you are worthy of love, peace, and happiness, regardless of your past or imperfections. When you love yourself, you stop seeking validation from others because you already know your worth. Self-love means giving yourself the compassion and care that you often give to others. You understand that you deserve kindness, patience, and forgiveness, not just from others, but from yourself as well. The act of loving yourself is powerful because it shifts your mindset. When you love yourself, you begin to trust your instincts and decisions. You no longer second-guess every choice you make, nor do you rely on the opinions of others to feel secure in your decisions. You stand firm in the knowledge that you are capable and worthy of making choices that align with your values and desires. This kind of self-assurance opens doors to opportunities that you might have once thought were out of reach, simply because you've started believing in yourself. When you truly love yourself, you set boundaries that protect your mental and emotional well-being. You stop allowing toxic people, situations, or behaviors to enter your life. Self-love means saying no to things that harm you, even if it's difficult. You recognize that your peace is invaluable, and you refuse to compromise it for the sake of pleasing others or fitting into someone else's narrative. By setting these boundaries, you create space for more positive, enriching relationships and experiences that truly nourish your soul. Self-love also involves taking responsibility for your happiness and well-being. Too often, we place the burden of our happiness on others, expecting them to fulfill us in ways that we can only do for ourselves. But when you love yourself, you take charge of your happiness. You stop waiting for someone else to make you happy, and instead, you learn to find joy within. Whether it's through your passions, self-care routines, or personal growth, you find ways to nurture your inner happiness and cultivate a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Finally, self-love is about embracing your flaws and imperfections. It's easy to criticize ourselves for not measuring up to unrealistic standards set by society or by others, but true self-love involves accepting who you are, flaws and all. You recognize that perfection doesn't exist and that your imperfections are what make you uniquely beautiful. Embracing yourself in this way allows you to let go of self-doubt and guilt, and instead, it empowers you to step into your full potential with confidence and grace. When you start to believe in your own worth, your life changes in unimaginable ways. Many of us live our lives seeking validation from others, constantly wondering if we are enough. But the truth is, your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. It is not based on what others think of you or how they treat you. Your worth is intrinsic and exists within you, no matter what you've been through or who has tried to bring you down. Believing in your own worth is about realizing that you are valuable, that you matter, and that you deserve all the good things life has to offer. One of the most important aspects of believing in your own worth is the ability to say no without guilt. When you value yourself, you understand the importance of setting boundaries. You no longer feel the need to say yes to everything or everyone, especially when it goes against your values, desires, or well-being. Saying no is a form of self-respect. It's your way of protecting your time, your energy, and your peace. By setting clear boundaries, you demonstrate that you respect yourself enough to not settle for less than what you deserve. Believing in your worth also means prioritizing your own needs and happiness. Too often, we sacrifice our own needs for the sake of others, thinking that it makes us better people or that we are being selfless. But the truth is, when you don't take care of yourself, you can't truly help others. You can't give from an empty cup. By prioritizing your own happiness, you ensure that you are in a better place to support, care for, and give to others. It's not selfish, it's necessary. When you believe in your own worth, you stop accepting disrespect. You no longer tolerate behavior that diminishes your value or makes you feel small, whether it's from a partner, a friend, or a colleague. You recognize that you deserve to be treated with respect, kindness, and consideration. No one has the right to make you feel inferior or unimportant. Believing in your worth empowers you to walk away from situations that do not honor who you are and what you bring to the table. Believing in your worth also helps you to stop comparing yourself to others. We live in a world where comparison is rampant, whether it's through social media or in real life. But when you value yourself, you understand that your journey is unique and so are your achievements. There is no need to measure your success by someone else's standards. You are on your own path, and the progress you make is significant, no matter how small it may seem to others. Finally, believing in your worth allows you to be resilient in the face of challenges. Life will always throw obstacles your way, but when you know your value, you have the inner strength to keep going, even when things get tough. You understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but simply a part of the process. And you keep moving forward, trusting that every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. Believing in your worth gives you the resilience to bounce back stronger from every challenge life presents.